This week on the Bigfoot Researchers Journal, Mark and Melanie head to the Hungry Land Slough to take a look at the first of 6 trackways they found over the course of 9 months of intensive research in the area. Then we'll take a listen at what could be a juvenile Bigfoot. This week on the Bigfoot Researchers Journal. The vast swamps and wilderness areas of the state of Florida are home to a legend. Join Team Crypto Reality as they go after the truth. Go! For the first time in Bigfoot research history, you're going to see what it takes to be a real Bigfoot researcher. Real story from behind the scenes. As it turns out, finding Bigfoot was the easy part. The Bigfoot Researchers Journal. Seeing is believing. Last week, Mark worked over 100 hours between going into the field and editing for the films. Melanie's begun to get a bit concerned about it.
Asking when you get slow down.
Honey.
I'm a little concerned, man. A little concerned about my little.
I put enough water in there. Why are you concerned? The coffee's perfect.
No, you just keep working, man. It's like it's crazy. I think that you think it working is breathing. It's not. Working's not breathing. Breathing's breathing. All you do is work, man. All you do is work. Makes me sad.
Well, I gotta get it done. It has to get done.
Well, what's gonna happen when you're dead and it didn't get done yet?
All I'm doing is working. I mean, I'm not like doing anything to.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting at the desk, man.
Yeah,
or
but
in the field.
You don't get like the
Honey,
stress that you're putting on yourself, and really, you gotta let your body breathe. Oh, so you're gonna laugh at me now? You think it's funny? You think it's a joke? Because I'm really concerned about your health, and it's really not funny. Because you know what? Dead man's not gonna do nothing for nothing, and you got some serious issues that you really need to work out. And the biggest thing is
Talking about serious issues, man.
well, the biggest thing is you just taking time for yourself. Like if you'd really just take an hour a day and go get a little hobby and do a little walking, you really need to get a little exercise in your life. I mean, because it's serious to the point of you really do have some health issues.
Excuse me.
I'm not kidding.
Push cut.
So, yeah, you're gonna have to get somewhere in your consciousness that actually taking care of yourself is a good thing, and taking time for yourself to just be. It's okay to just be, Mark.
So then,
What do you think?
I'll take some time off. I'll take a day off. I'll take a day off.
I'll
take Sunday off.
Mark spent so much time in the field and working on the film last week, he doesn't even know it's already Saturday.
Okay.
I'll take Sunday off and I won't work. And, I'll call my brother today. And hopefully, we go fishing or something.
Okay, well that's
Unless
good.
you want to go. You want to go fishing?
No, that's all right. I'll let you and your brother go. You guys need to.
Every now and then, both these boys need a talking to. They forget there's more to life than just working. And if there's one thing they will take a day off to do, it's going fishing. These boys know every hole in South Florida that produces big bass. There's an old saying the Zasky boys believe in wholeheartedly. A bad day fishing is better than a good day of work. Of course, they both fish at a professional level, so bad days of fishing are few and far between.
Good job, Z. 10 now.
That's what we came here for.
That's right.
After some much-needed R&R, Mark gets back to work the very next day in the
Deal
studio.
with the public. The majority of the public has been very receptive of our work, and in our films where we actually have the Bigfoot in the films. But there's this contingency of people out there that, for some reason, the information that we present makes them very uncomfortable for probably several different reasons. We seem to have more trouble actually dealing with other Bigfoot researchers when we present our evidence. They actually have accused us of having CGI in our films and that we're hoaxing everything. And the bottom line is everything you see in our films is real, and we spend a great deal of time in the field filming, and I take personally a lot of time in crafting the films so that you can see what we're actually catching on film better. It's 100% real, and we pride ourselves on that, on being a reliable source for real footage of the species.
The Bigfoot Researchers Journal. So after reworking the car cam, Mark and Melanie head out to Hungryland once again. The area has been underwater now for 4 months, and they're hoping that some of that's dropped, so they can get into some serious mud and find some tracks.
So now we have a good stable camera mount, which is, a good thing.
It's important.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to have their camera flopping around in the car while they're trying to have a conversation?
Might cause an accident.
Might cause an accident.
Might cause an accident.
That's a good point. Safety is, paramount when you're driving, especially when you're heading to Bigfoot research, because if you get in an accident on the way, obviously you're not getting footage.
Obviously. And you're already a little nervous.
I am actually a little nervous today, are you? I got butterflies every time we go on an expedition now. That's just me. Because,
Because he's more sensitive than you would think.
I was going to say, because, I'm an eyewitness. Unlike some people.
I've seen one, but I haven't seen one, if that makes any sense.
Well, you could be more specific.
Well,
You've seen one on film that you filmed.
That I filmed.
But you just didn't see it when it was standing
But
there.
I sure knew it was there. I tell you that right now.
Right.
I smelt it. I felt it.
You smelt it. You felt it.
I heard it.
If you smelt it, you dealt it.
Nope, that's you. If I smelt it, I know that you
Come
dealt
on,
it.
man. Come on, man. That's it. I'm cutting this one. This is the structure that they made. And they take trees and they pile them all in here. This is all broken off, all these branches. And they pile them in and they make this structure, and then in the summertime it covers. Now it's winter and it's
Mark
starting to
believes
die
that this particular area they call the crossroads, where 2 different trails intersect, is where the Bigfoot do most of their hunting.
This is where they walk up and they survey the trail here at the crossroads. And this is where we've gotten most of our audio. And this is where my sighting was, as well as the retired police officer. The retired officer was sitting at the end of the trail. My sighting was down this trail. We've had quite a bit of action right here.
The swamp is a dangerous place, and once the team enters the water, both Mark and Melanie go on high alert. Between the thousands of venomous water moccasins and big territorial bull alligators that inhabit the area, bad things can happen at any time in this tall grass.
Water's deep today, man. I think the trackway is probably gonna be underwater, baby. See this here? Look at this.
Over the course of the last year of conducting research in this area, the team has noticed patterns in where they find tracks along game trails. They also find all kinds of signs of something big having come through the area.
Try to stay at least 5 feet behind me, because if we come up on a gator, I'm gonna be moving quick backwards, okay? If he lunges. So just you know, give me 5 to 8 feet, okay? But stay close though, too. I know that sounds silly, but I don't want anything to happen today. We got a lot of moccasins in the area, so we gotta be careful.
Big hungry alligators will find their way into the backcountry, into spots you would not believe.
Oh yeah. And they'll 10-foot gator be sitting back in here and just jump a hog. Sitting right in that. Yeah, we got tree breaks galore. See, this is where they come through here. And this is where we're seeing all this. This is where we were that night. Look at this tree branch.
Mark and Melanie continue along the game trail, looking for other signs of something big having come through. The whole way in, they kept finding breaks like these, till they eventually got to an area where they found some big tracks. Now, isn't it interesting that they find tree breaks all the way along a game trail going through the water, and as soon as they get up into a dry hammock and find some mud, they find a 16 to 18 inch gigantic human-type track. Now, the tracks were older, and it had been raining that week, so they were a bit washed out. But there's no doubt, based on the size, somebody had a real big foot that came through this area. The team hung out for a little while longer, and then hiked all the way back out to the car. They left the area with a sense they were on the right track, so to speak. We'll conclude this week's episode with a look at a trackway of epic proportions, and we'll listen to some audio from what Mark and Melanie believe is one of the juvenile Bigfoot that's leaving some of the tracks you're about to see. Now, on this particular day, Mark and Melanie are in a spot that has a history of encounters between us modern humans and whatever the Bigfoot species turns out to be. In fact, a little under a year before Mark's encounter with the big gray Bigfoot in this spot, a retired U.S. Army Special Forces officer, who also happens to be a retired Florida Highway Patrolman, had an encounter with a Bigfoot less than 400 yards from where Mark had his. The area is a hotspot, so Mark and Melanie were intent on finding evidence of the species to back up these encounters.
And so we've come out here to basically check on things, and we stumbled upon a trackway of epic proportions. So we're going to walk the trackway now. The first visible tracks coming out of the swamp itself actually begin right here. And that little hole right there would be the first one, which sort of seems a little inconsistent until you see that we've got a couple of different individuals. It appears to be 3 individuals, 3 or possibly 4, coming out of this swamp. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and step in here as well, and I'm gonna follow the trackway, and we're gonna show you these tracks as they unfold. You've got the 3, you got the individual over there, you got this individual. Oh yeah, actually there's 4 of them. These are all barefoot tracks. Damn, my boots are getting sucked off, man. And you can see they're just punch holes at this point. And then we get our first view of the juvenile bush Indian footprint. And now this one is a little bit harder ground, so it's a little bit cleaner earlier than the rest of them, because this mud is still real wet over here. But you can plainly see we're following a foot track trail here. And you're going to start to see toes. The other individual is over here, walking this way. And I've stayed off of it on the way in so that I could show you these things. Now, we're seeing this individual here start to cut across, and you can see he changes direction. There's a left foot, and then the right foot where he hops across. His trail stops over there. You don't see it anymore. And he hops over here to the ground where his buddies are at, or his family members. And he's walking here. There's another one. Now we're getting toes. We're getting excellent toes. And these tracks are about 10 inches long. 10 and a half, 11 inches. I'd give them 10 and a half or 11. And you can see, based on my boot, they're about the same length, maybe just a little bit shorter, an inch or so shorter. But you've got excellent toes in these tracks. Excellent toes in these tracks. Now we've got the other individuals coming out of the swamp, coming down this way. And we're gonna start to see toes in their tracks because the mud's starting to get a little bit harder. You've got a right, you've got a left, you got a left, you got a right, one after another in single file, almost stepping in each other's tracks. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Now again, here's my 225 pounds, and that's the track that I leave. And right next to it is the barefoot, and it's 3 times the depth, which means these things are a little heavier than me that are leaving these tracks, these bush Indians. So we've got unbelievable evidence at this point of a trackway here in Palm Beach County. Oh, here's a stellar, perfect track. You can see flexion in the toes. You can see the ridge line for the pad of the foot in between the toes. Let's take a look at those toes. Ho, ho, ho. Now that is one gorgeous track. Look at those toes. Oh my God.
Now, the way the team looks at the Bigfoot evidence that they find and collect is real simple. If you can see it, and Mark has, and you can hear the thing, and they both have, and you can find its tracks, and they sure have, then it's real. Period. Regardless of what most people may think, most people haven't seen a Bigfoot. Most people don't go into the field. And most people haven't found one shred of evidence because they refuse to look into it due to their own skepticism. It's like Mark always says, belief requires faith. But if you actually do the physical work like their team does, then it won't be long before you absolutely know what's really going on out there. Now, on this particular morning, they pulled up and parked the car, and as they both got out, they heard someone walking off down inside the basin. So they went down there to investigate and find out what it was that was walking away. As they neared a large saw palmetto patch on the right-hand side, something started running off through the bushes and screaming at the top of its lungs. It didn't sound like a deer, it didn't sound like a hog, and it sure didn't sound like anything either one of them had ever heard before.
Holy shit.
Both Mark and Melanie were completely freaked out over this incident, especially since it wasn't long after this incident that they started finding the trackways that by all appearances are being made by some type of a wild human type being. Next week on the Bigfoot Researchers Journal, Mark and Melanie go back to the area for a nighttime expedition Their last outing in the area was unnerving. Go! On the next episode of the Bigfoot Researchers Journal. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas from all the folks at Crypto Reality.